So about this,
randomly just realize how much power my hands hold. For example, too broke to hire someone to design your merch. Just draw it yourself. Don't have any friends to model it for you? Just draw the models.
so this creator describes some people's faces as gorilla looking, and people of color as being tan. And I think we should go back to the beginning of her first video where she talks about the power of the artist. I don't think most people who don't have a good visual critical thinking sense understand the power that visuals have in our society. Sure, she's teaching people to draw, but underlying it are people who will learn to draw, potentially work in industries where these images become pervasive. And so if they are people who perceive this to be a classic face, and who see people of color as being othered and do not understand how to depict them as well, we find ourselves in a situation where we are upholding norms that our society is ideally moving past. Now, some of her perceptions and even the ways she is drawing and sectioning people's faces and hitting the angles comes from the fact that a lot of our way of teaching drawing comes from a Eurocentric place. It's in direct line to Renaissance art, which really focused on realism, but also a sort of system of drawing that worked to depict people in a certain light. Other cultures had different ways of drawing, and other cultures, for example, focused on things other than realism. And it is worth noting, our studies of drawing are sort of also tied to all of our other Enlightenment ideals of how you understand the world, much of which is through a Eurocentric lens. But in America, this is no longer the singular classic face. In fact, globally, we are much closer to each other intellectually, and therefore there is no singular classic face. And with power comes responsibility. And so for artists, rather than just drawing what you know, if you actually want to be an artist who communicates with a broad swath of people, you need to look and study from a broad swath of people, draw a broad swath of faces, and hold back the racism.